Hello, and welcome to this edition of EMS Now Up Close. I am Eric Miskell with EMS Now and get to speak again today with my colleague Dieter Weiss, the godfather of EMS market research in Europe. Dieter, of course, is with in4ma, Information for Manufacturing, longtime colleague, and I think one of the most respected voices in terms of market research for the EMS industry, specifically in Europe. So, Dieter, it's good to see you, my friend. Thanks for taking time today.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. It's a pleasure talking with you.
Good.
I hope you feel well. I
Yeah.
heard some negative rumors, but
We don't need to get into that.
okay.
Listen, I know I wanted to talk to you. It's timely because you've just released your half-year report, right? The for the EMS survey that you did, and I wanted to kind of just go through some of the results of that, what you're seeing and what's happening. Obviously, that's the survey of the EMS industry in Europe. So why don't you give us maybe a high-level kind of result piece there, maybe starting with how's
Uh,
it looking?
yeah, well, first of all, let me add we are on the one hand working on the half-year survey, or we just finished this. On the other hand, it's high season for us to look into the country company registers because now the Nordic countries, but as well many countries in Central Eastern Europe, they only allow the companies to 6 months until they have to report their numbers, which means we find lots of data now in the country company registers. And actually, we already in Central Eastern Europe, we have 83% real data. And that
Wow.
is very, very important because it gives us a real picture. And we got a surprise. We got a big surprise looking at the data in Central Eastern Europe, because you remember that we have been talking about Europe in 2024 having a drop in revenue of more than 10%.
Mhm.
We still stick to that number, but we had two outliers. And those two outliers are both Foxconn companies, one in Hungary, one in the Czech Republic, both manufacturing servers for data centers and artificial intelligence. And they raised their revenues tremendously by more than 50%. And actually, if I take those two, which do 5.5 million in revenue, 5.5 billion in revenues in 2024, then they account um, for more than 20% of the Eastern European revenues. And if I leave them in, actually Central Eastern Europe has a growth of 2.9% in 2024. But that is not realistic if all the other 500 companies in Central Eastern Europe lost business. So when taking them out, we get to a minus of 10.9% in Eastern Europe. So, and that is again very realistic. In Western Europe, we have about 60% of the actual revenues so far. So overall in Europe, we have now 70% real data. And again, if I leave out the two outliers, then 2024 will be minus 10.6%.
Okay. And
So
yeah, I
that's
saw
first
that
of all on the
overall.
2024 results, which is the basis for the half-year survey.
Yeah. And I noticed in the information too that the second half of 2024 actually declined over the first half as well, right?
Yeah, well, what we did in order to do the year-over-year change, we needed the first half of 24. So we asked for the 24 first half year results in comparison to the first half 2025 results.
Mm-hmm.
And as we do have the full 2024 results, we as well automatically calculate the second half of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And what we saw is that even though the first half of 2024 already was quite bad, but the second half of 2024 was even worse. Yeah?
Right.
There was a real slide in most of the countries, with some exceptions. Yeah?
Yeah. Now, I
Uh,
did notice that Germany was pretty negative.
yes, we are still showing for 2024 a minus of 16.6% in revenues for Germany, which actually means that Germany has what we call the red lantern, yeah, which is the worst in Europe. And well, you ask me, what is the cause of this? We have been seeing a negative growth rate of the gross domestic product for the last 3 years now. And see, if you have politicians in government where half of the politicians have no education at all, and if you have a finance minister who has never worked in the industry, these people don't know anything about the business. Yeah, and the last government we had a strong green influence, and we are still talking about the zero emission on carbon dioxide. Yeah, yes, we can do that. Yeah, if we really want to make sure that we ruin the German economy. The problem is one half of the people have still not understood the influences of this on our economy and as well on their own personal situation. Yeah, because it will cost us money, a lot of money.
Yeah. I should have known when I asked about Germany, I'd trigger you on the political front there, but we will move on from there. Talk about the survey though. You've just done it was the first half of 2025 is what your survey was also assessing. What were you seeing
Yes,
from that?
and the first half of 2025, uh, we did see an improvement. We did see an improvement in comparison to the second half of 24, because the second half of 24 showed this huge slide down. Yeah? And what we see as well is that some companies, where we compare the first half of 2025 against the first half of 2024, show a positive movement. And in specific, we were astonished to see that Switzerland was one of the countries where we saw that. Yeah? In addition, France is doing quite well as well. So
Is that driven by any particular sectors that are dominant in those countries?
yes. Well, again, we need to have a look at this in regards to number one, the company size, number two, the market sectors that are being served. Yeah? And especially, we were not able to separately analyze the United Kingdom. Because we only had 8 responses from the United Kingdom, and we need to pack that together with Italy, Spain, Sweden, and Finland. Yeah? Which sounds strange, but they are all what we call Western European countries. And the Western European countries did well in general as well. And here dominated 50% by the UK. And UK and France both have a huge share of airspace and defense industries, which is quite beneficial. And we see this at the moment. Everybody now is jumping on the wagon. Everybody now realizes, and you remember it from the EMS forum where we showed how few companies in Europe have EN or AS 9100 certification. Yeah, and if you seriously want to be a player in the defense industry, in supplying the defense industries, then you need to have the certification as a minimum requirement. It doesn't guarantee you any business, but it's a minimum requirement. Yeah? And we see a lot of companies now working on it. By the way, if you have watched the news, and I assume you being a news agency, you watch the news, Fideltronic, for example, is on the way to qualify for EN 9100 as well. They announced it on LinkedIn.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. So tell me, how was, well, one other question. I noticed in some of the data too, that there was certainly a difference between larger EMS and smaller EMS in terms of performance.
Yes, well, actually, about 51% of all respondents came from Germany. That's number one. Yeah. So we had a total of 125 companies from Germany giving us their numbers. And that allowed us in Germany to separate the numbers by revenue group. We separated a total of 7 different revenue groups. And in this case, in Germany, we didn't see too much. In Germany, we had the situation that everybody performed bad, yeah, and there was no big difference. But when we took all the 219 company data, we separated them in 60 companies with more than 50 million in revenues, and 159 companies with less than 50. Yeah? And there we were able to see that the first half of 2025 saw a decline of 6.6% for the big companies, and a decline from the first half of 2025 to first half of 2024. Okay. Yeah, and a decline of minus 12.7% for the smaller companies with less than 50 million. So this is quite painful, and it worries me as well, because we constantly, number one, see companies going out of business. And number two, we see a lot of mergers and acquisition activities.
I want to dive into that with you, but before we get there, let me just ask, what you're talking about right now, based on what you're seeing in the first half, how will that impact your overall projection for the rest of the year, do you think?
Well, we did ask for the full 2025 results the companies are expecting, and as we did that mid of this year, we have to assume that the companies already have the orders which they want to generate the revenues in the second half of, that they have them on the books already. Yeah, maybe with the exception of some prototype shops which have a fast turnaround, but other than that, the majority of the company have the orders on book which they want to turn into revenues in the second half. And the negative part of that is that they are expecting on average a minus of 5.9% compared to 2024. And that is to say so frustrating, but as well explains the nervousness this industry is having at the moment.
Yeah. But, and then, so let's come back to the issue you just touched on there, which is what you're seeing is you're seeing some insolvencies, some people going out of business, more companies maybe looking to sell themselves, and an uptick in the M&A activity. How would you characterize that environment currently?
Well, we need to see as well that even so many companies might be interested to grow inorganically. The question is, do they have sufficient money?
Yeah.
Because we, at the same time, and we did that in the survey as well, we checked on the inventory levels. Yeah. The inventory levels are still binding a lot of capital. And even so, everybody has been reducing inventories. Yeah, it is still on average above 22%, and normally have been talking on average of numbers 15% of annual revenues. Yeah. Now, this 22% might be a little bit difficult to compare to the 15%, because at the moment we are talking about revenues which not utilize the full capacity of the companies. So if the companies were able to better utilize their capacities, it might be that actually the percentage would go down to 19-20%.
Yeah, but as you indicated, even though it's 22%, excuse me, there was improvement. So these
yes, it is an improvement. But see, there is an old logistical law which says it's very easy to build up inventory, but it's much more difficult to bring it down again. Yeah? By the way, the same goes for production floor space. Yeah, you create more floor space, it's going to be occupied immediately. But if you then say you have to clear this space again, I need to use that for something else, everybody tells you a reason why that's not possible anymore.
No. Excuse me. So any other kind of highlights from what you're seeing here mid-year as you reflect on the survey? I know that you've been burning the midnight oil, staying up late with the analysis, be issuing the press release, I think today or tomorrow, about the results. Any other kind of surprises or anything?
Well, even so, we have just finalized the report, and the report will be issued to all companies participating this week. It doesn't mean that our analysis is finished. Yeah? As I said in the beginning, we realized that there were two companies doing server business, and they had a huge increase in their business. On the other hand, we see that the automotive market is still weak. We need to further analyze this, because all the companies reporting to us, we have the revenues, but we didn't ask in the half-year service on their market shares for the different market segments. But we have those data from the annual survey, and market segments within a company don't change over half a year. Yeah? So we can now go and further analyze the impact on the market segments on this development. Okay. And I have to admit, when we talked about the annual survey half a year ago, I was still very optimistic that 2025 we will see a pickup, and I have to admit I was wrong. I was wrong. It takes much longer to correct this bullwhip effect from this supply chain poker, and that is something people are still working on. And seemingly, the OEM industry still has their warehouses quite full.
Yeah. As I hear you talk about, it just reminds me that, the type of research you do, this survey research, you do the primary. I know you go into the company registers, but survey research, I mean, it's it's easy to design and launch surveys, right? Asking questions, sending it out, but it's challenging, always has been challenging to get responses. But yet you seem to be quite successful, and I know that the number of companies who participate has been increasing over the years because of your credibility and your track record of doing that. But is there, not to give away any secrets here, but is a comment on that process and how that's an ever evolving, because it's not just a once, you're doing this twice a year. You're always building and building on this. So kind of speak to the success of the survey research that you're able to conduct.
Yeah. Well, as you know, on the annual survey, we had this year another record with 409 companies representing 42% of the European revenues. On the half-year survey, we don't get that numbers. We have companies who are not willing to give you half-year results. They say, well, we don't have the time to do that. Yeah. So, but still, we are proud that we were able to get respondents from 219 companies, and they represent 21% of the European business. So that is not bad. Yeah.
Right.
On the one hand. On the other hand, we are not pushing too much to get the numbers, because we want to finalize the results. And July and August is vacation time.
Yeah.
Many people are on vacation. Actually today I received a response on our request for data from Italy. Yeah.
Oh,
Today. Yeah.
they're finally back.
The report is finished. We told them we are very sorry. We cannot put your data into the survey anymore, but okay, you still get the report from us. Yeah.
Okay.
But that is a typical situation. I have the same situation at the moment on the PCB side. I'm working on the book to bill statistics every month on the PCB side, and I'm still missing data from Italy, because it seems that in Italy, everybody shuts down the factory in August and goes on vacation. Yeah. So people don't even respond.
That must be nice. So, yeah. Listen,
I would love to do that as well. Shut down and go for 4 weeks on vacation.
Listen, before I let you go, let me just ask for the benefit of the audience. I know that you're very busy going out now that the data's done. You're going to be discussing this, presenting on this in the industry at various functions. Why don't you tell the audience where you will be presenting your data and insights this year and where they might be able to see you?
Well, number one, we are a team. It's not only me. We are a team of 4 people, which is Dr. Mareike Haas, who is closely working with me. And then at the association, at the Global Electronics Association, it's Christoph Solka and Anastasia Ederer who are working with me. Number one, Christoph will be presenting the data next week Friday, in Zurich, Switzerland, for an event of IG Exact, which is a Swiss association. The week after, Christoph and Mareike will be presenting at the Evertix Expo in Göteborg, Sweden. Then the next week, I will be, together with Christoph, presenting data at the Tech Day in Gdansk in Poland. Then the week after, it will be, let's see, what will it be? Yeah, it will be Paris. It will be the famous IPC EMS seminar organized by the global electronics industry in Paris, and there it will be Anastasia Ederer, Christoph Solka, and me presenting. Very good program. Attendance is free of charge, so and we will all be there to discuss the situation with you. It's a good chance to come and come to Paris to this seminar. And if you go onto the homepage of Global Electronics Association, you see the link how to register to the seminar.
Yeah.
And the week after, Anastasia Ederer and I, we will be at the customer day of ASMPT in Munich presenting over there. And that is just the September event. There is more events coming, like, for example, in October, it will be the Evertech Expo in Warsaw, in Warsaw, Poland, where we're going to be. We for sure will be at Productronica. There is a couple more possibilities where we have to go in October, but they are not fully fixed as of now, so can't talk about that as of now. And there will be the famous Estonian Electronics Industries Association's EMS seminar in the first week of December in Tallinn, Estonia. So, and again, we are not cooking the same charts 10 times, yeah? Which means if you want to come to 2 or 3 different events, don't expect that you're gonna hear the same presentation. We try to be specific. We think who will probably attend over there, and then we will work on information which is valuable for those people coming.
Good. You have a busy schedule ahead of you, sir. But listen, again, what the service you provide to this industry is incredibly valuable. I know, having traveled with you to visit companies, how much the data is respected, and that your insights and forecasts mean a lot to this industry. A lot of people rely on them, and I think that's what allows you to continue to be so successful in the work that you conduct. So I just want to compliment you on that, and
Thank you.
Wish you continued success on that, because it is very important for this industry. So, and then hopefully next year we get to see each other again and do something, or maybe at Productronica, if I come over, we can.
Well, yeah, I'm still hoping to see you at Productronica. We might even get a chance to go our famous restaurant and have a Wiener Schnitzel. Yeah.
You owe me one. You owe me this.
Yes, I owe you one. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. Hope you're coming. If you have problems coming, you just need to talk with your sponsors that they pay you the flight ticket. Yeah? Because you're doing so much for your sponsors, and they are making so much additional business with you reporting about them. Yeah. And I think it's worth for them to make sure that you are coming to Productronica as well. And yes, for sure, we are working on planning another tour for 2026.
We are. More to come on that. And between now and then, of course, I leave for India in 2 weeks, and we'll be doing a Dieter decided not to go with me to India, so I'll be doing that without him this time. But it'll be a very exciting, interesting, because I think India is one of the more exciting places for EMS on the planet right now. So it'll be interesting, the insights, and I'll be glad to share that with you at a later point. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Dieter. Well, thank you, sir. Keep up the good work. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. It was nice talking with you. It was nice seeing you again.
Always a pleasure, sir. Take care. Cheers.
Okay.